The Atlanta Falcons put on the pads today, and that obviously means more intensity on the field. Players are usually excited when they can start hitting each other. Obviously, not to a point where anybody gets hurt, but just a little bit more physicality at practice. And in 11-on-11s, we saw one combination really take the show. Michael Penix Jr. and Drake London hooking up multiple times during 11-11s for some big plays down the field. You can see the trust that Penix has in Drake London, and also just the fact that other guys are stepping up in the absence of Darnell Mooney, who's out with a shoulder injury and probably will be shut down the majority of training camp. So Michael Penix after practice mentioned a couple guys like David Stills, like Nick Nash, as some guys who have been stepping up in his absence. Chris Blair, who's been at camp for the last couple years, he's called him consistent. So overall, I think the Falcons are feeling really good about where they are as they continue to get through training camp. And obviously the big thing is just to make sure there are no injuries. The big thing and the biggest takeaway is how everybody's feeling about where they are right now.
Great day. The intensity was there, the energy was there. But man, it was really good. You know, just seeing all the guys, excited. You know, I had some of the guys come up, he's like, it was crazy because I had some receivers coming up to me like saying they're excited about run plays because they can go hit a safety. So I was like, all right, just be open on the pass play. That's all I need. But it's been great though.
And clearly coming out of practice, the big story was the heat. The Falcons dealing with these hot temperatures. Everybody being outside today, sweating. I'm sweating right now doing this. That's the complete perception of how the entire practice session went. But the guys say it's just part of the game. The second straight day here at Valley Branch as the rain continues to fall, moving the Falcons indoors to their indoors facility, but that didn't keep the team from keeping high spirits and high energy as they're in their second straight day of practice out of 3 this week before the preseason opener against the Detroit Lions this Friday. Raheem Morris said on Monday that Michael Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins won't play in the preseason opener this Friday against the Lions. So this creates an opportunity for Emory Jones and Easton Stick as they battle for the quarterback 3 position, potentially quarterback 2, depending on what happens with Kirk. And both guys have been putting in work when they can. Obviously, reps are limited in training camp. Really, the starters and the backups get the majority, and then the third, fourth team guys get reps at the end of practice or on another field. But Easton Stick especially says after his career so far in the league, he knows no position is guaranteed.
It's so easy to look at the sheet of paper and count numbers and do all that stuff, and whether you think you have a spot or you don't. In this league, you never have a spot. You got to play well, so that's the mentality.
Head coach Raheem Morris said Wednesday's practice will have a scrimmage, which will help determine who will play in this Friday's preseason game, and really just create the opportunity for guys maybe who haven't gotten a lot of reps during camp to get an opportunity to show the coaches what they can do and hopefully make the 53-man roster. The first day of joint practices is in the books here at Flowery Branch as the Falcons and Titans were on the field helping each other get better ahead of the preseason game this Friday. And I'd say day one went to the Falcons, especially on the offensive side of the ball where they had a lot of success against the Titans number ones. The Falcons offense today, especially when they did 11-on-11s, 1-on-1s, or as some people call it, good on good, had a really successful day, I'd say, especially in the intermediate to deep passing game. Michael Penix was able to find guys down the field, Ray McLeod, Drake London, Casey Washington, who stepped up in the absence of Darnell Mooney. The offense was really churning today, and Penix looked sharp, which is very important because he will not be playing in this Friday's preseason game. So these are obviously very important reps for him to get against another team if he's not going to play in the live game. But overall, not just the offense, but the defense had a strong day as well against the Titans and Cam Ward.
A big part of these joint practices, it's a great test of emotional maturity, of emotional intelligence. Can you go to that space, that edge of violence and anger and emotion, but not cross the line and don't throw the punch and don't retaliate? Felt like we did a good job of that today.
So overall, the theme of joint practices is, I'd say, the Falcons passing game and the Falcons secondary had a very strong day against the Titans and are looking to continue that momentum tomorrow in day 2 of joint practices right back out here at Flowery Branch. Reporting live, Bryce Lewis, WYFF News 4 Sports.